A lot of these companies are well known. What did you expect? Hey, everyone, this is CEO Trades, where money works for you. Today, we're looking at a lot of the corporations out there that you and I are aware of, but how do they end up 2021? And after they ended up, how can that affect our investing? This is a third part of decisions. Decisions are here for our concern in reference to investing, whether it's in stocks, crypto, in land, real estate, in whatever it may be. So let's take a look at the stock side of decisions. We're looking here at 15 different stocks that ended up the year on a negative basis. It's amazing. But a lot of these companies you have Disney, Spotify, Snow, Exxon, Snap, Twitter, Dash, Airbnb, T-Mobile, Uber, Pins, Boeing, SE, Pinterest, and Ford. These are the companies we're going to be looking at. We're going to look at their charts and see if there's any information that we'd be able to look at in reference to finding out how it is impacting us right now. This is Disney. You see, it was back in March of last year, 2021, where it was a high of about $200, just above that, and right now it's at 137. It's dropped, and that's pretty much the case for most. You can see it's a steady decline for this stock. How about Spotify? Spotify has had somewhat of a roller coaster ride, but it still dropped from 387 back in February until now, where it's in 194 range. It's dropped at just almost half. Now, this is Snowflake. If you want to know more about these companies, then that's a different story. We're just looking at decisions here on what are we looking at to make some decisions. Snow back in February was around, what was it, 120, 326. It went up to 405 probably in November, and then it dropped to 267, just under what it was a year ago. That's a shame. This one is ExxonMobil, which is one of the gas companies. We're not looking at the chart here on the yearly basis. I don't know what happened there, but you can see it had a low last year, February of 2021, of $44, and it's up 74. Why is it higher? Why is this one higher? Well, we're going to see that in other videos as we come on to that. But this is one of those stocks you want to keep a look at because it's going upward as everything else is going downward. This one is Snap-on Tools. It was at 173 last year, January. It went up to 259 somewhere in May, and it's consolidated. This is pretty much on a consolidated path, although it is a little bit trending, and it's at 205 right now. So it's down a good 20% or so. Snap-on, not terrible, but it is on a path where it's been holding. It's been finding support here at around the $200 range, and we're going to see what happens in the next day or two next week and see if it holds that range. Maybe it's possible because it already has a triple bottom, and hopefully maybe it'll have a multiple bottom right here. If it has support, maybe it's good to ride it from the $200 range back up to the 220. That's about a 10% gain because it's done it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and maybe a 4th time. Maybe that's depending on what happens there. Let's see here. What are the other companies? Now, Twitter started out back in February, or the end of February, in the $80 range, and it's downtrending right now. It's almost down to what, a third of what it was, almost down more than 50% of what it was back then. That's amazing. DoorDash is pretty much where it started somewhat. In 116, it did hit a high of 257 and it dropped, just pretty much what the market in general is doing. Airbnb had a 219 high back in February of 2021. Then it hit a low of 129, and it's almost at that low. It's just a little bit above it, 150-ish range. It's also showing some support here. That's another one to hold on to, as well as the other one that we saw, which was, I believe it was Exxon, and what was the other one here? Sorry, I didn't write it down. This was Snap-on Tools. I'm not writing these down. I'm just going by as what I see here. Airbnb. This is T-Mobile. T-Mobile, you can see, had a high of 33 back in May, and it's down to 26. It was down to 22, and this one is also down to, although it's holding there. This is one of those cell phone companies that is very powerful around the world. $64 for Uber back in February, and it's down to 35, 34. Why is it half? Why? Let's see here. We have, let's see, not that one. Then we have Pinterest. Pinterest was at $89 back in February, and it's down to $29. Geez, almost a 60% drop. That's amazing, amazing. That's because of the market correction, I'm certain. Boeing was at 278, and it's down to 205, 185. This one will go up. Boeing will definitely go up. Why is it down right now? Because the markets are down in general, and people are afraid to invest right now because they could lose on their money, and they play the game where whoever makes the most wins. And so if you're not playing that game, your decisions are being made incorrectly. You can see here that Sea Limited, which is one of the shippers, I'm pretty certain, although I haven't looked into the information, 372 was its high back in November, and it's down to 153, which is, geez, less than half of what it was worth 3 months ago. That's amazing. What do we do now? This is Python, I believe. Peloton is down. I had really terrible news today saying that a lot of people are not purchasing the products anymore, and they're holding inventory. So that's not good. That means that the prices are going to start to come down. Those of you who purchase into Peloton, great for you, good for you. I hope you get into shape. I hope you find your machines usable. And for those who've been holding out for prices to come down, get ready. These prices are going to come down for Peloton, and I hope that in the end they make their money. Now, it was at 166, $166 back in January of 2021. It's down. It is down almost, if I had to guess, 80%, maybe 90%, dare I say. Look at that. It had a huge gap down right in here, and it's going to have a very tough time to recuperate. Peloton, I'd say this one is most probably going to keep going down further. I mean, it's at 23. If I were to go in right now, I would short this a little bit more and bet for the way down. I'd like to see what happened in the last day on this one. And you can see it. Well, it went up a little bit upward because of the negative news. I guess as people dumped, some people purchased and held up here and then held up here. I don't know. Maybe the ones who made here, if they cashed out somewhere in here or in there, they might have made some money, but that's it. This is consolidating, and I believe this is going to drop again from where it is at 26 back down to at least 23, if not below that. I'd say this one's going to go and see 10, at least $10. So just be careful on Peloton for those of you who are into that one. And Ford, our last one of the group, it was at $10 last year, 2021. And look at it now. It was at 25.87. It's dropped to 20. It is 200% up or 100% up. It depends on how you want to look at it. Will it go any further down? I don't believe so. Ford is one of those companies that has been around for the long haul. They are one of the pioneering companies in the car industry. And now, guess what? All of a sudden, overnight, they're into the electrical vehicles, and their vehicles are really nice. They're coming out with really nice vehicles. I'd say they've been holding on to these permits or whatever they're called, rights to be able to do electric vehicles until the industry just caught up, and boom, they just did it overnight. But they had their own rights in there, and I understand. They're playing the business game, and that's respectable, and that's why that would be played out. But this is one of those companies that's been holding out. What else has been holding out? I just mentioned to you some of the companies that have been holding out. Ford is one of them. What else? C should pick up by the time May or June comes around. It's dropped. I wouldn't invest in this one just yet. It might drop some more. And why are these decisions so important to be made for our benefit? Because decisions in reference to what you see here on the chart can affect in the long haul. To AT&T, sorry, T is AT&T. I thought it was T-Mobile. Sorry about that. This is a hold eventually, not right now, because I don't think it's bottomed out. The market is in the correction phase. We're waiting to see what the interest hikes do for the market. That's when we take a better look at our decision making on where to invest. So if you have money parked right now, or if you have money invested and you see your returns coming in, you can cash out or you can stay in. It's up to you. Let's see here. What was the other one that we were just looking at? This is Snap-on Tools is also something that I'm going to be watching. As I said, if it holds here at 200, I might pick up again. It will be a tricky moment right here between 2 and 208. It will be a tricky moment, but that is one of the ones that I will be looking at. And this is Exxon. Exxon is a good hold for the long term, although might as wait because it's already peaked. It's high at 74. I don't know if it's going to keep going upward or if that's it for Exxon. So far, there is no negative news on petroleum, but there is negative news on the importing, that a lot of ships that are coming in with cargo, they are held at dock or at sea and so on, and the price is going to increase for a lot of the items that you and I are purchasing. So just be careful, be aware that the news right now is on a negative trend. However, the time to invest is upon us. So just be careful. Wait until the Fed introduces their interest hike. And once that happens, we'll see what happens. It won't take long before that. It might be the same day, might be the next day, and see who dumps, who doesn't dump, and what is going on. But I would say that most people have already dumped and are waiting to see when they start to pick up. Just be aware that the news will play a major role in this, and there's different sides of the news. If you're just following main news channels, then guess what? You're going to get your news source from secondary. This is one of those applications that's very good, TD Ameritrade, to get your news. As you get used to using this application, it will be able to show you the best way to invest. Now, in reference to investing in any of these, I've already shown you 2 or 3 of the picks. If you need to go over the video again, go over them. But I would say wait until the Fed releases their interest hike to see what happens. That is a clearer point on when to invest. And follow this video. It shows you different points of view in reference to investing. This is CeoTrades, where money works for you. Please like, subscribe, and share, because if you share, you care. And we are here to show you our picks for investing in the long run. Take care and stay tuned, as our next video will show you 10 to 15 coins, crypto, that are on the verge of moving in the next several months.